Yo guys, Clarkie Collector back. We're here for another episode of Collector's 10 Count. Today I'll be checking in with a guy called Adam, 3XR Studios on Instagram. He's a fellow customizer and friend of mine. We're going to go through the 10 questions, talking to you all about why he got into customizing and collecting, what he's into, what he's up to, and basically just going through the same as I did, talking about why we do what we do and what we enjoy. So this is episode number 2 from me, hosting on my own this time. Johnny is absent. It'll just be me and Adam hashing the stuff and talking about why we do what we do and learning a bit more about him and why he collects and why he does what he does. So enjoy the episode. Right, guys, it's Nick, Clarkie Collector, back today. We're here with another episode of the Collector's 10 Count. Today, I'm here with Adam, known as 3XR on Instagram. How's it going, man? How are you?
Yeah, good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm alive, and that's all I can really say. I mean, obviously, people follow me on Instagram, seeing that I've been to Vegas for Double or Nothing, which is great. We'll have some stuff for that.
Yeah. How was that anyway? I didn't ask you about that really.
It was nuts, mate. Like, it just for me to be able to, I mean, the thing for me for that whole trip was as soon as they announced the Owen Hart tournament finals are going to be there, I was sitting watching Dynamite and I was like, I have to be there for that. We'll go into like what your favorite stuff are, but I know you're a massive Owen fan and you're working on a load of Owen stuff. So we'll go into that. But yeah, I was like, I have to be there for that. Booked it all up, and yeah, just to get there. And obviously I met FTR and done the whole figure thing for them, which we can go into because we did a bit of stuff together for that, which is really cool. That was like my weekend was just mad, just to meet those guys and give back to them, and they were just like, they couldn't have been more humble and happy about that. So yeah, it was cool. Vegas was nuts. Yeah, just, you know, you get over to an area where there's just gambling everywhere, and you're like, I don't care.
What hotel were you in?
We was in the Excalibur, which is like a Disney castle. It was crazy.
Yeah. I've been there a few times.
But, you've been a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, I went. It was the first place I went to in America, and there was like there was like a porn star convention on at the same time. But it was like the day I left though. It was weird. There was that, and there was like some like super nerdy like tech IT sort of thing at the same time. So it was like the complete contrast of types of people.
IT nerds and porn stars walking around. This is interesting graphic.
Yeah,
We saw some sites. So we're here to do the collector catch up number 10 with Adam. We're going to go through 10 questions about why you love this stuff that I also love and have a whole room in my home dedicated to. So the first question, mate, is really what is it that wrestling gives you that other things doesn't, and what's your kind of first memory of, you know, the first thing where you went, wow, I'm going to watch this every week, or like that sticks in your memory that really, you know, made you think I love wrestling, and where did you start?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the first time that I watched it. It just feels like it was there, like just present in my childhood. Like I think because I'm 37, so like I think in the UK there was like WCW stuff that was kind of shown.
It was ITV, right? If I remember correctly, for like every Saturday or something, there was a bit of it.
Yeah, and I think that was the first thing I saw, because the first figures I got was Galoob, which I guess we'll probably go into that as another thing. But yeah, and then I like my cousin used to record it because it was on Sky, like Superstars or something like that, and like so I just used to get that on like a VHS. She'd record me that and The Simpsons.
Okay.
And I just watched those tapes. So that was, but I didn't see any pay-per-views or anything. It was just jobber stuff, really.
Yeah.
And then I used to like rent the old like SummerSlam Survivor Series. Like I was, even then, which would have been about, I guess, like the mid 90s, I suppose. I was really into watching like 88, 89 and the older stuff even then. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why I even liked it as a kid. I suppose I guess it was like liking things like He-Man, and I mean everything was like shirtless muscle guys, wasn't it? Anyway, and I
Yeah.
guess they were the real ones. So I
What
don't
kind
know
of
if there was some.
what draws you
Sorry,
back to
go on.
it now? Like, what's keeping you interested in it now, if at all? Did you keep up with any of the current products, or do you still kind of revert back to the kind of eras that you mentioned there? I know I do. I'm
Yeah,
back to
uh,
those eras
yeah,
rather.
everything really. Like I guess I stopped watching it when I was about 16, 17 maybe. Uh, and then I guess, during that period of just thinking it wasn't cool enough or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I wasn't, I don't know, I just sort of grew out of it
Oh,
anyway, I
yeah.
think. But then I think as soon as I just got older and then I just started embracing things that I wanted to do and not giving a shit so much. Sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to swear, but
Swearing.
do that out. And yeah, and then I started listening to Wrestle Me podcast. I don't know if you listened to
Okay, yeah.
that. And like that, the first one of that was like it's like him and his mate. One of them's a super nerd, one doesn't know anything, and they go through watching all of the WrestleManias.
Oh wow.
And then I just started doing that, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I just started watching him on the network, got a trial, and then yeah, year on from that, I was more into it than I'd ever been, I think.
I think the
Yeah.
network's a real haven for, like, I mean, it's the only reason I still pay for it is to go back and watch all that stuff. And there's like, when I'm paying specifically, I'm always watching like old episodes of Superstars, and it's just like, I'd much rather pay that £10 to have all of that backlog than anything that's going on now. But it's nice to be able to just watch
I mean, since
certain
since I
stuff.
moved to since I moved to America, it's changed, so I have to use Peacock.
Peacock, yeah.
Yeah, I think there was some like negativity around it, but I don't know why. I think it's pretty much the same. Like I don't know if there's some stuff missing, but
There was
it's
some
quite good
stuff
because
done.
I think they may have like edited some of the less savory stuff in
Yeah.
2022 out. But Ben was still in there. And like yeah, you can download stuff on there as well. So like when I
Okay.
took a flight the other day,
Offline.
I downloaded like a few WrestleManias just to have offline, so just watching
Oh
stuff,
no.
which is great.
Yeah, I wish they
Yeah,
did the network. It'd be nice just to offline watch loads of stuff, but you can't because you have to be connected for them. So that's pretty cool. So I guess it's the only
yeah.
way.
I think that's the thing. It's like because you're using like a dedicated app, whereas this is like built for other stuff. It just happens to have WWE inside it, so it's a little bit more kind of thorough, I
Okay,
guess.
interesting. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. On to the next question. What was your first figure or collectible that you can recall, and do you still have it, or any stories behind, the first sort of collectibles? It didn't have to be maybe wrestling, but sort of toy wise, or if it is wrestling, what was it?
I think it would have been wrestling. I think the first figures that I got were Galoobs, as I said, because like that was the first thing I saw, and maybe that was like the first thing that was in Woolworths. I don't actually know
Woolworths, yeah.
the dates of when they came out in relation to Hasbro's, or like
I think they were kind of side by side, weren't they? They were very close to one another. I think the Hasbro's may have been first. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure either. But I
yeah,
remember having like batches of them myself as a kid, and having like a Sting and a Pillman and people that weren't
yeah.
on the side.
I think Brian Pillman is the one that I remember having first. Yeah, with the little like tiger pants on. That's, and I think my cousin had a Flair, and then I had a Sid.
Yeah, there was a Sid
Pretty soon in with the black singlet on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have any of these now. Like, I think I probably just sold them on a car boot sale to buy like Mega Drive games at some point. But like, yeah, I have got that Sid mock now, so that's the only Galoob that I've got.
How much was that?
I'll show you that afterwards. But I got it really cheap. Someone selling. They had a bunch of them. They were just getting rid of it because they had them in their attic or something, and like I think it was about 20 quid or something like that.
Nice. It's starting to creep up now.
Yeah.
The Galoobs, obviously the Hasbro's have gone nuts, but the Galoobs and stuff are starting to creep up, especially the rare ones like Luger and Flair and stuff. They're so expensive.
Yeah. I'll get onto that in a bit. I've got something to say about that. But yeah, and then like, yeah, then Hasbro's, like you say, potentially at the same time. Like it was, there was a like a petrol station near my house that just used to. I don't know why it just sold. The only toys it sold were just them.
Brilliant.
Like it had them like hanging up. And we drive past it, and I just see them, but I could see like the color. So it was like,
Yeah, you knew what
if like a red series had come in, but then obviously then there was you had no idea like when they were going to be released or anything. It was just like,
they just popped up.
Yeah, which was amazing. And yeah, like I guess I would just get them occasionally as I could. Like obviously no control of money, so
yeah, exactly that.
it's just yeah, because I was like I said, I would have been
8 or 10 or something, maybe less.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, all of my figures I had then were kind of messed up anyway, because I used to like when I used to play with them, I would like draw like red paint on their faces and stuff. Like I'd punch them, and then I'd like color red on them and stuff. So
brilliant.
Yeah, I was customizing early, I guess.
Yeah, you started. The thing is, someone's probably got that figure out there somewhere, thinking, "Oh, someone's got red face there. I wonder, like, I'm never going to get that off, but I'll keep it as a placeholder."
That's the thing. I was saying that to my wife the other day. It's like all these things that you have, unless they were like super perishable, like they must exist somewhere, unless that's been melted down. Like, you know, I've lost like jewelry and stuff. It must be somewhere. Like, it's just weird, isn't it?
Someone somewhere's got that figure in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite wrestler? And if obviously based on who it is, have you got any items in your collection based on who that wrestler is that you own, that you did collect? So who's your go-to?
I'd say it's probably Jake the Snake.
Okay.
My first sort of him or HBK anyway, just because of two moments really. It's like the snake biting thing.
Yeah.
Which I've got that tattooed on my leg. I don't know if I can show that in any way. Where is it?
It's always good to see. Let's have a look.
Yeah, like can you see the back of my leg there? Is that showing up?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, it's like on the back of my leg, but like I'll
send you have to send me a photo and we can put it up.
yeah. So him because of that, because I obviously at that point, you know, I was still believing in Santa and I was still believing in wrestling.
It really hit you hard when that snake was biting his arm, right?
Yeah. I think I heard after that like Macho Man was really paranoid about whether the venom had been removed, and it turned out that it actually hadn't been completely removed. And
the whole thing in the Dark Side of the Ring episode about it, where he was like, if I'm going to do it, you're going to let the snake bite you first, and then if it's all good, bite me afterwards. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll do that. That's all good. The snake's got no fangs, but it's cool.
So yeah, it was that and the Shawn Michaels kicking Marty through the window. Because that was like the first sort of heel turn that I've seen it, and it was I guess it was the most kind of shocking one I've ever seen. Like I really like, it made me feel awful at the time. I was like, I can't believe you do that.
It was like, why would you tell him his best friend?
Yeah. And I think since Marty's a pretty sketchy character in later life, so I think it's
he got some interesting on his Facebook, isn't it? He's it's kind of funny, but you kind of worry, like, I hope he's okay, but he's quite hilarious, but he's got some sketchy interests. But
I think it was something with, didn't he like thought he had a daughter, but it turned out it wasn't actually his daughter, so he was like, oh great, we can you know
we can
okay.
Yeah. I think he's party mighty for a reason, right?
Yeah, in terms of collectibles or figures for them, yeah, I've got like a couple of Jake the Snakes, like the original Legends one. But then I think the most recent one is the best one anyway.
They're really cheap out in Target as well now. If you can find them, they're like $6 to $10 now. The Jakes, they're trying to shoot them out because the next series is obviously out. So they're
I mean, I just moved to America when that came out as well. So I think that was the first one that I bought in person, and like, you know, going into a Target after watching, sometimes I watch like Carl Peterson's he goes around Targets and stuff, and you've seen that
stuff, yeah.
But then because I was actually in one, I was like, oh, it's amazing. And yeah, So that was kind of nice, you know, just like buy it in person rather than online for a change.
And through the odds for it sometimes as well. Yeah, it's interesting. I did the same. I had a quick look when I was out there, but I went to a shop called Brad's Toy Shop, and they had like some of the top picks and stuff like that. It was quite cool to see them in hand. I was like, I don't need them or want them, but it's cool to actually see the stuff in this native sort of wildness rather than, you know, I've had to import it and it's cost me X amount and then you've got to pay extra because you're paying for the privilege.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool
because I know there's been some stuff about, you know, them saying like they're going to get rid of plastics, so you're not going to be able to see through the boxes and stuff.
Nuts,
But
yeah.
then nobody seems to say that most of the things they buy anyway are online, so you never get to see them through the window anyway, really. So I don't see it being that big of a deal.
I think it's more for people getting worried about quality control of if you buy a figure and you can't see it and then you open it and the true effects or the paint job's all scuffed, you're never going to see it until you buy it and go through the hassle of buying it and getting it in
Yeah,
hand.
I guess there's going to be like
Still a risk, isn't it?
the return policy would have to be different. They can't be like, oh, you've opened it now.
Tough, yeah.
But you're like, but he's got no head or whatever. Like
no accessories, yeah.
Yeah. And then like the way, you know, people are like changing the stuff in the boxes and then putting them back and stuff.
Yeah.
You could probably get away with that more as well, though, couldn't you? If you can't see through it. Not like we're doing that, but
yeah, people just even put Jackson figures in there and just put them back in the box. I don't want this. I've not even opened it. And it's like you might buy it and get something completely different in the box and just be none the wiser. You have to be very savvy with it, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've got the Slim Jim Macho Man, but that's like completely sealed.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if he's in there. Like I've never seen it. You know? There could just be like, you know, a bit of stand in there or something. Like, yeah, or just Slim Jim in there.
Yeah, just filled with Slim Jim. Yeah. So what got you into collecting? I mean, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but what kind of got you into collecting? We spoke about your first figures being the Gloops, but as an adult, what's kind of got you back into it? I guess the customized, I don't know if it's more prevalent for you in this kind of discussion, but as an adult, what kind of got you back into thinking, oh, I want to get into figures or collecting figures, or as to some extent, like I'm going to start doing the artwork and the customs and stuff?
Yeah, so I think I got my first Elite in about 2017, 18, I think. It was, I can't remember what even made me know they existed. I don't know what I don't even know how it came into like my
almost
my vision or whatever, really. Yeah, because I had a few Hasbros that I rebought that I have on my desk and stuff at work. Like I had a Andre the Giant, Macho Man, just some of the, like, you know, the key figures or whatever. And then I bought a Ravishing Rick Rude Elite because he was always one of my favorites. And then I guess, you know, just sort of snowballs after that, because then you're aware of it, and then you're kind of going like, oh, because obviously with Hasbro there wasn't that many.
There was more Hasbros when you was a kid than there actually was. Like I've obviously got the set behind me, and you think, oh, as a kid, you think there was hundreds of them, but it's only like less than 100.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's so many, like with Elites, isn't there? I don't even know what the total number is, but
it's not
like the amount of, there must be more John Cena's than there is Hasbro's, you know?
Yeah, it's probably close to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I just was like, okay, I'm going to have a display, and then I needed to fill that out. So then I started doing, like, you know, eras and shit, and then you kind of like, next thing you know, you've just got so many. I mean, as you know, behind you right now.
Yeah, it's relentless.
Yeah.
So what do you think in your collection that you've got is the best figure? It doesn't have to be your favorite, but kind of lightness and overall finish, and it can be a custom as well, or we can talk about both. What do you think is the best figure that you have in your collection? Like that is spot on.
Well, my favorite is, I've got it here just because I thought it would come up, but is this Sting?
Classic, yeah.
The UK exclusive.
That's
Although
awesome.
I had no idea this existed when I was a kid. I don't know this. There must have been a time where I was in Woolworths or something, and these were just there,
And just
but I just didn't even realize. There's like a Luger one of these as well, isn't there?
yeah, he's got
Like only
yeah,
yeah, like uh, I've been watching these on eBay for years, and
nuts.
then it was just waiting for one that came that was like, I don't know. I think I just sold like just done a custom or something, so I was feeling a bit,
Just threw it
you
back
know.
into it.
Yeah, I think it was like, is it 60, 70 pounds maybe? But it's like it's immaculate. Like
Yeah, it looks
there's
good.
like
It's
there's a
clean.
bit on the hand, but then I'm like, do I
Don't
just
touch
try and paint it over,
it.
or? But um,
Leave him stock.
yeah. I mean, I like pink on stuff anyway. Like I'm wearing a pinkish t-shirt now, and like Heart Family, all of that stuff has got like shades of pink in it. So I
Yeah,
like that from an aesthetical point of view because of that. In terms of elites, like elites and I guess ultimates are probably my favorite figures. I think they're the best ones. Not so much like there's some where I think the scale's a bit weird, like the shoulders and stuff, like on Jeff Hardy. It
yeah, it's
just looks a
played out.
bit
Looks-
weird. But then that sort of look, like I've got the last one I got was a Batista, and I think that he just sort of looks right. Like it just
Scouts
looks
for it.
like him. Yeah. So yeah, I think like the Hogan ones of those are really good, like Hollywood Hogan. Uh, I do love the Brat Ultimate. I know there's like a lot of discussion around the face, but I think when you've got the glasses on and stuff, you don't really look at it.
They've never really quite nailed Brett's likeness, have they? I think the one that's forthcoming in '93, or '93 or '94, the next Elite line looks pretty good. With Bulldog, they're doing a SummerSlam '92 Bulldog exclusive. It looks pretty decent. I think they've never fully, and again, I don't think anyone who's doing head prints, myself or anyone else, or maybe even Alex to an extent, has done a Brett that's actually topped, either the Mattel versions or any of the versions that anyone else has done. I think everyone struggles. Same with Owen to an extent. I think that people struggle to get. They just got those faces that are really tough to nail down.
Yeah, I was talking to Alex about this the other day, and I think like there's some people that
It's
they
uncanny valley, isn't it? You just can't get it.
in like a still pose, they just don't like you think of them in a certain way, and maybe it's because you need them to be moving slightly, or you don't see them in at a certain angle. Like you might, I mean, I from doing this Owen stuff I've been doing recently, like been researching so many photos, and like it's really hard to find a photo of him from the side. Like I think I found two, which was what I wanted to do, was just to get that side profile so I could show the sculptor guy what his nose should be like from the side, but it was really
Yeah,
difficult. And I think having that, like, there was like was it a DX segment where they took the piss out of his nose or whatever.
yeah.
I think that was like getting that right. I think was like a key kind of thing for it. But yeah, maybe Brett's kind of similar. Maybe it's just that family. I don't
It
know.
was just that dear, the likeness of those guys is really difficult to get kind of nailed down. But I'm really keen to see. I mean, obviously you've said that you're going to give the file to everyone and let everyone just go nuts with it. So it'd be really cool to see
Yeah.
obviously having it to paint myself, but then also people like Alex, you've got people like Bubble, and then you've got Craig, the NWF, yourself, Jordan, and everyone else who's doing this. It'd be really cool to have the same head and see everyone's different kind of creative artistic output on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I just would like to see how everyone kind of paints like a little bit differently. Some do it more close to the elite style, and some a little bit more realistic with like shading and whatnot. And then yeah, like if anyone's got is savvy with using ZBrush or Blender or whatever, and they think, oh, I could do with like I don't know, taking a bit off his chin or whatever. Just sort of just use this as like a base, and then
Just do it.
maybe we'll get there eventually. Yeah.
Definitely. So we spoke about this before, mate. Your favorite line on manufacturer toys. I mean, it's probably going to be the Hasbro's or the Glue to you from memory. But what's your kind of favorite ever line of manufacturer and wrestling figures?
As in, even you're talking about now as well.
Yeah, anything. Jack's, Mattel's,
Oh yeah. I
Hasbro's.
mean, the for nostalgia purposes, it's Glue. I don't really have any interest in Hasbro stuff now. Like, I've I've got a few like kicking around my kid's like toy box. He like I don't know, he doesn't even do anything with them really, but they're just, you know, in and amongst like Lego. But yeah, I completely missed the Jax era, because that was just when I was,
He was
I
out.
don't know, just, you know, growing up or whatever. But yeah, so like I just don't have anything for them at all. Like I look at them now and they just think these are awful. I know some people point. I mean the classic superstars look quite good in the mock.
Yeah.
And I think the heads on a lot of them are really good. Like I use
Great ones, yeah.
the scale's a bit weird. Like some of the heads you can get away with. Like I've used the Kenny Dykstra, however you say his name.
Yeah.
I just painted one of them to do an Owen in like an interim, and I think it's pretty good. But yeah, like the bodies, the arms are weird on those things. But yeah, Mattel are my favorite for sure. Like Ultimates, really. I think I quite liked Jazzwares at first, but now I don't. I think the skin tone's a bit weird, even though it was obviously not as weird as it was when it first came out. But the elbows annoy me. They're too kind of weak. Like they sort of bend here and stuff. They've got like, I like the sort of torso bit. There's a good weight to them. Like I think, you know, and yeah, like I think those new Power Town or whatever coming out look pretty good.
They're kind of like,
so I'm kind of,
they look like Ultimate editions, but better.
yeah, like I'm kind of keen to see what, you know, the non-prototype is like. Like
If they hold up,
yeah, like with Jazzwares and Mattel, I find sort of the wrist to hand is a bit weird on a lot of them. Like the hands are too small in Jazzwares, and then sometimes the hands too big on a Mattel. Like I think Super Sevens are quite good with that. Like the detail on the hands are pretty good, and the way on these Power, is it Power Town? Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah, like the connection of like the wrist to the hand is like, it's quite good. The way it connects is a little bit different, and I don't know, it feels like it kind of flows together a bit more
rather than just having a hand on an arm type thing.
Yeah, like they look a little bit. The Mattel ones have, I don't know. With some hands are quite good, but then I think it's like the C grip or something. It just, I don't know, looks a bit strange. But I've got like this this Wardlow that I just did.
Yeah, I need to see that. Yeah.
So this,
really
which
cool.
is so I put a Mattel hand on a Jazzwares, but I think this is a Steamboat like thing.
Cool hand,
but I think that just looks like way better, because his actual hand is so small. Not his real hand, but the one that was with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this one was pretty good.
Yeah, you know.
I think this just shows that like the sculpt on him is actually all right. It's just that it's just not printed very well, like the way they do it. But then when you paint it,
what did you paint on that? All of that yourself? The head? Did you repaint the whole head?
Yeah, I repainted his entire body. Yeah,
really cool.
Apart from the boots, which they're just what are they? Scorpio Sky boots, and I just sort of trimmed, like I cut the back off. So
so they're flat.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah. Have you shown it to Wardlow? Have you did anything with it in it at all?
He liked on Twitter the picture I did of his head, but then I didn't get anything else after that, so I don't know.
Fair enough. That's just really good, man. I've been following that on your story anyway and seeing the progress. And so I was like, shit, it's swear words, no swearing. I was like, wow, that's really good. But doing a whole skin tone repaint, I know, is a real chore. So I was like watching that and was like, wow. But when you put the two side by side, you kind of think, why didn't they go with that in the first place? Why did you say POW on the full release? Like the skin tone.
Yeah, the original is just not even a human color. It's just kind of strange.
Weird pinky mix, isn't it? Where is it? Yeah, it's up there. It's just odd. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I didn't mean to do that. I did the head, and then
put it on and went, it
and
looks so
then I couldn't really like, yeah, I didn't, yeah. If I'd have tried to match it's not only the color of the Jazzwares one though, but because the stock is so sort of glossy and sort of such a way that you can't really match it in like a matte way anyway. Like I could have sprayed it with a matte sealer and then, you know, maybe it would have like helped connect it, but yeah.
So question 7, mate, on this one, of all the items in your collection from your reference, what was the hardest thing to get, and what was the most expensive if it's not the same thing?
Hardest to get, what did I think it was probably the because I was in the UK at the time obviously as well, so it was different, but the first Jazzwares things, which isn't like a cool thing to say, but like they were a nightmare.
Series 2 of them as well, especially, were like trying to get hold of Ray Phoenix. I remember was a real nightmare. Everyone was scrambling to get him, and the websites were going down.
Yeah, exactly. I think I paid over the odds for all of those on eBay. Yeah, and that's not even like
Do you feel that was like a bit of like FOMO because everyone was going nuts for them and they were a brand new thing, and you was like, I have to have them, or was it a bit?
Yeah, I just wanted to see what they were like in hand myself as quickly as possible. There was
they're rubbish, like everyone else. To disclaimer, they're not rubbish, but the first series wasn't great. Let's put it that way. They're progressively better.
I was in Manchester at the time, so I was driving to like Smith stores, but like it was, you know, you could check online and go, okay, this one is 30 minutes away and they've got 2 Dustin Roads or whatever, and there was like a chance that you might get a chase, and at the time I think those chases were going for at least $1,000, weren't they, on eBay? So yeah, I mean there was that, so it was, you know, whatever, it's all part of fun.
Just a sub story related to this, but talking about chases and Smiths and that series, when the second lockdown in the UK finished after Christmas, sort of December time, I went to my Smiths, hadn't been open, it was the first lockdown, so yeah, sort of mid-ish, it would have been 2021. 2021? No.
A few moments later.
December 2020, I went to Smiths and it hadn't been open for weeks. They've been intermittently like click and collect and stuff. I was like, I'll just have a look because I'm here. I went in and there was Chase MJF on the shelf, but it didn't have no Chase sticker, but I saw the scarf and I was like, you're kidding.
Oh yeah. I think I spoke to you about that at the time. Yeah, didn't I say to ask them for it? And then they sent you the sticker, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They sorted it out in the end. But it was just that, and that was the only wave of the Jazzwares AEW figures that actually distributed chases in the UK. I don't know. I think there was none of the Codys that I'm aware of. It was only the MJFs that we got. And then after that, I didn't mean to send you them. Sorry, you shouldn't get them. But I couldn't believe it. Saw it on the shelf and was like, no way.
Have you still got it?
Still got it, yeah. I'll put some pictures up in when we put it up online. But yeah, it's one of my. I've actually got the whole of Series 1 and Series 2 still mock in like protectors because I thought one day they might be desirable and worth a bit of money. I've got a Chase Jericho, one of 5,000, and that MJF. But other chases, I've got obviously the AEW top exclusive when I was in Vegas. But all the other chases, I'm just like, I'm not paying that money for them. They're only going to go on the shelf if I open them, or they're going to sit in a box in a cupboard. Like, there's literally no point.
Yeah, I think like with the, because I do trading card stuff as well, and like 5,000 is quite a high number. Like in a trading card terms, that's not.
It's not. Yeah.
You want like, you know, sub 50 really, and I think like I've got the Matt Hardy one, but that was just out of chance when I ordered it from Ringside. I just happened to get it, but I think that was the last of the ones before they hiked the number up.
Yeah.
So who knows? You know, he might die or whatever, and then it'll be worth something. But like, I
don't know if it's like, I think it's like a bit of a false economy, like, because I think there was a whole point where can't remember which figure it was, but it was one of 3,000, and then they appeared everywhere. It might have been like a Darby Allin or a Jericho or someone, and it seemed like everyone was going to Target and finding these chases, like they were just abundance, and people kind of thinking, actually, is there more than 3,000? And they just make a supply and demand and make it a thing, but there's actually, they've produced 6,000 or 7,000. They just put the same sticker on, and you just don't, because they're not like one of X, are they? They're just like, it just says one of 3,000, but it's not individual number in a box. So how do you
like because
no idea.
in trading cards terms, you have the number as
One
well.
of.
So like, yeah, because normally that first number holds value because it's like
Lower than worth it's got.
Yeah, or if a person happens to be associated with a number anyway, like with football cards, it is because they have shirt numbers. Like I don't know. I guess Taz might, if it was a thing, Taz 13 would be like more valuable. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the print run is on the sort of base model anyway, like the non-chase. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that ratio is like. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a good topic for discussion. What was the most, again, go back to the question, what was the most expensive thing that you've kind of been like, wow, I'll throw some money at this to get this? Or just, you know what, I'm going to throw the money at it because I want it?
I think it would have been some of the original legends that I've got in mock. Like I've got some like super pristine King Kong Bundy, Macho King, Demolition.
Nice.
I don't keep that many. I don't have the space. Like all of these are in my mother-in-law's basement, so our house better not flood. But I don't have like that many kind of mock stuff, but I just have like really good ones. So yeah, I think like, I don't know, 150 might have been the most I spent on one, maybe a bit less.
Was this pre or post COVID? Was this during COVID or before COVID?
I think it was during when I was going a bit mad.
Because COVID just rocked everything up, didn't it? All the legends went during COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Nuts.
I don't know what else have I got, like that Sting for a loose, I suppose, is more.
He's got to be on double that now, though. Surely he'd be more than 60 quid now, loose in that condition.
I think so. Yeah,
worth a little bit more.
Yeah, like I've got with the cards and stuff as well. Like I've got like the sealed all in kind of pack that they did at that thing. So that I'm hoping that'll be worth something. I've got MJF rookie cards signed, and I collect other wrestling things. Like I've got some of the first PlayStation games still sealed and in like a little display thing and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll just see what kind of happens. But yeah, just stuff, collecting stuff.
Stuff. Yeah, I'm guilty of it as well. So next one, I guess it kind of ties into that question, but loose or mock? I mean, I guess it sounds like you've got a bit of a mixed bag really with the legend stuff and what you've got, but what's your preference? And obviously you can only choose one, you can't say both. You've got to give an answer and a reason why you think that's your preferred choice.
Loose definitely. Like I like to be able to, well, I don't have a display at the moment, but hopefully that'll change. And then you kind of, it's all well and good looking at them through a box, but it's not.
You're not interacting with it without holding it.
No, you can get as much enjoyment out of that as looking at like pictures of it, maybe as that. So you kind of, and then they're just, I don't even look at those though. The ones that I do have of mock, they're purely from an investment point of view, really, and thinking I'll sell this at some point. Whereas that isn't the case with the loose ones. And yeah, like the ones I display, like I'll with customizing and stuff, I'll edit them. So even if that's just adding like an AMA elbow pad on or whatever, just to make them better than what they were. Not even repainting them, but just giving them like that cherry on top. So yeah, definitely loose. Yeah.
So again, going back to sort of collecting, if there was one figure out there that you've always wanted and just never pulled that trigger on, and you're you thought I've always wanted that and never found it, or thought, oh, I'll get it next time, and that next time's never arrived? What would that be? Is there something in your mind where you think I should really pick that up, and you've seen it and gone, oh, I'll leave it this time and get it next time?
Harley Race is one that I really want.
Good luck.
That's I know that
Yeah.
I'd say that's the most I type into eBay. Just seeing if it's there. Like
Do come
there's
around.
always this custom that's been there for years and no one's buying it. It's not yours, is it?
No,
Yeah,
I've got the original something there.
yeah. So I think it's that. But then I guess there's like with some of the Mattels, I worry about buying a certain figure for X amount of money, because next month they could just re-release that person, and then that original one is kind of worthless. Like yeah, because it doesn't really.
What kind of examples have you got in that respect? Like what stuff you can from that you're like you probably grabbed it?
I remember the first Pete Dunne was like holding a lot of value. And then they brought another one out, and then it just wasn't. No one really cared about the other one then. And it's not like with trading cards you have like a rookie card that's going to be hold more value anyway. It doesn't really have the same with figures anyway. It's like if this one's better, then it's just better. Yeah, exactly. Especially if the new one just looks, that's a better face, whatever. I'm trying to think of other examples where that's happened. I know I was having this conversation yesterday with somebody about Legion of Doom and like how they're so expensive, but then I think I don't know, would they ever get a license to do that again? And if they did, and they bought an ultimate Legion of Doom out, how good would that be? No one would want any of the ones. I recently sold my Legends, the one with the black pads on, just because I don't think they're even as good as the red ones.
Red ones, aren't they?
Yeah, like Animal's a bit of a weird. He's a bit too small on the black ones. My Hawk was a bit weird. Like he's the bit above the thigh is like the other way around.
Okay.
Which is really weird. Like his sort of legs are backwards. Hopefully whoever I sold it to isn't listening to this knowing that I knew that, but
so I will edit it out.
I think like I said, the main one that I just searched really is Harley Race. That's like because I don't have a collection on display right now, there's no
rush,
like there's no literal hole that I'm looking at and going, I don't have an Undertaker standing there without Paul Bearer next to him or anything like that. But yeah,
interesting. I think that Harley come up in our last episode. We were talking about like most desirable, and I think for me, I got it, and I was just like I almost skipped and I had a chance to get 3, and I thought I'll just get one. I'm not a massive fan anyway, but it's a Legends figure, so I'll get it. And I got it, and without I thought I won't invest in the other 2 because it's going to come out. It's going to be part of that Hall of Fame set anyway, so it doesn't matter. Obviously, look what happened. That set was dry as anything anywhere.
Like who were the other ones in it? Because I think
there was a Ricky Steamboat, Steve Austin re-release, and who was the other one? It
wasn't Jake, was it?
Yeah, it was.
No.
It was 95 Jake, wasn't it, with the yellow snake and the blue vest?
Yeah, he's got like a really creepy face.
Uncle Jake. Yeah, it's a bit rapey.
Yeah.
We spoke about rapey Uncle Jake before as well. And that had the Builder figure Commissioner Shawn Michaels with the parts, didn't it? Which was also a really desirable figure, which ironically in the first episode of this we spoke about, that's my figure that I spoke about in the same question. I was like, it's just eluded me forever, but maybe I might have secured it, but we'll see in another episode.
Okay. What part of that? What part of it came with Harley?
I think it was the chest. I may be wrong. Again, we'll put some pictures up. But I think it was the chest piece. But yeah, you had like the chest with one, the arms with the other, legs with another, and then the hat and the head with someone else. And don't get me wrong, I spoke about in the last episode, the figure's terrible, but it's one of those just, you couldn't get that Builder figure without having that whole set, and that whole set was really desirable and dry anyway. So I think it's up there with Harley, maybe just a bit under it, but it's on availability levels, it's not very, very available.
Yeah. I think it just reminded me that Rick Martel was one that took me a while to get, which I
Great
got.
figure. Yeah, great figure.
I got it quite a while ago now, but that was one that I really wanted, and because they've only ever done one, haven't they, as well, of him?
Yeah, I met a lot of people because I got a headless one on eBay really cheap when I first started, and I made a pink custom with his pink tights and had the pink boots and stuff. And when I put it on Instagram, a lot of people were like, "This is sacrilege! Like you've used an original figure." I was like, "Yeah, well, I did the head. Like it's fine. It's not. It wasn't original, but
Yeah,
it's cool. Like, it's
I think I
okay."
remember you doing that because
A lot of people got
his
upset about
boots are unique, aren't they?
yeah,
He's
he's got
the
the
only one that has
laces
that, like,
on the loop.
yeah,
Yeah. A lot of people got.
yeah,
I'll put a picture up as well for those who are listening and watching. But yeah, a lot of people got very upset about that because they're like, "Yeah, you're sacrilege. You know, it's an original figure. You should have just got a head for it." I'm like, "Where am I going to
yeah,
get for it? Like, I could cast a head and just put it on and go, oh look, I've got one with a jacket and one without. What's the point?" He says he does that with the ultimates, but you know, I was just like at the point. I was like, if I'm going to make a custom of it, I might as well do the pink attire because he wore that in my memory. He wore that more than the purple, but
yeah,
people
definitely. I mean,
got,
that's my kind of memory of it. Maybe I'll break the custom internet and paint his trunks. Because I'm not going to sell that anyway, so who cares? I haven't got the badge on his jacket. That's the only thing that's missing on mine. But that's obviously pretty easy to
you could replicate
remake. Yeah, actually, I think if you paint the trunks, you'd need to paint his arrogance juice or whatever that he sprayed around. That's purple, so just repaint that. And then I'd have to re-decal the arrogance on the side of it.
It's going to take a long time. Custom.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I'm glad he's got no accessories. I can just paint his tights and he's be done with it and put them on the shelf.
Yeah.
Right, mate. The last question, and it's an interesting one that we don't like to think about, but it's potential. So if your house was burning down and you, other than the wife and kids and the pets, from your collection, and you was running back in the house, what would you grab, and why would it be that?
Well, does it need to be literal? Because most of my stuff isn't in my house.
Would you just your digital collection exist and be like, pull it down from the cloud?
Yeah, because like I said, half of it is in my in-laws' basement, and then the rest of it is in my apartment now.
Yeah.
So the Sting is what I would grab here when I held up earlier, and then from that basement it would be one of those Legends figures, probably. Maybe the Bundy, just because
of the rarity of it.
Yeah, I think he's
white
like
box as well. Is he in the white matty box?
No, I don't. I don't have that white box, but the packaging is perfect. I don't think anyone else is the same body type as him either. I think he's like
very generic. He's very not generic, bespoke, isn't he? He's very specific.
Yeah. I think it would be that. I don't think I've got anything rare in there.
Do you think the Sting is more for sentimental value, and then the Bundy is going to be for monetary value? Is that how you've kind of come to that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's because I don't have any in a sentimental sense that I've had for, like, I don't have anything that I've from when I was a kid or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all been bought in the last few years, I suppose. Yeah.
No, makes sense. It's cool. That's been the 10 questions. It's been a pleasure, mate, to finally catch up in person and bring you on the show. For those who are sort of meeting you for the first time, tell us a bit about your Instagram handle, who you are, what you do, what services you provide, so people can check you out.
Yeah, so my Instagram, Twitter is at 3XRSTUDIO. And then what do I do? Customs, decals. I'm starting a podcast called What's Cracking, which will hopefully launch in the next couple of weeks, which is just about customizing and having conversations like this with whoever. Yeah, I don't know. I'll kind of do anything that's kind of interesting and, well, within reason.
Within reason.
I've done like some t-shirt projects, artwork, illustration, all sorts of stuff. Just like I just like to focus this thing on just wrestling in general and having conversations with like-minded people. Yeah, that's me.
Well, that's it. Check him out, guys. He's on Instagram. He's doing some cool work. For reference to those customizers who are watching, he's doing an awesome Owen head scan, which I know me and others like Alex and Mark and others were getting their hands on that and printing it out and posting them up. So we're looking forward to seeing the end results for that.
I'm gonna be giving that file away. So if anyone has the means to print or knows someone that could print it, then knock yourself out.
And that's really commendable. What's kind of, from a different stance, like obviously a lot of people are quiet, and we're going off on a bit of a tangent at the end of the episode, but it's interesting to talk about. But a lot of people are very protective of their files and their data and their artwork, and there's a niche to this whole. A lot of people are doing the 3D printing, myself included, and others that we've spoken about. What kind of made you feel like, you know what, I'm going to invest my time and money in this, but on the same token, I'm just going to just throw it out there? What's your magic to that?
I think it was because I wasn't planning on getting into like the head game as such. So it's just a one-off thing. So because of that, I'm less precious about it, and I'm not seeing it from a business perspective. I mean, all of the customs and wrestling stuff that I do was never from a monetary kind of standpoint or as a business. It was just like just for fun, really. And I mean, like doing customs and getting money for things is a bonus, and it just sort of funds.
Yeah.
If I can do like a few customs and make a bit of money off them, which allows me to, well, then justify to my wife spending like 300 on a mock classic, whatever. And it's like, why I made this money from doing this, so I'm just keeping it in the
kind of
in the same place,
same pot.
Leave me alone. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the Owen thing was just because I didn't even want to seem like I was invading that space. So it's just like, I'm just doing this one thing. Here you go. I mean, maybe it would annoy people who are trying to sell Owen heads, but they can sell that one. I said, like, you can print that because you're going to get money for printing it anyway. So
there's definitely an avenue for people to not exploit it, but I think anyone who would take that from you, I think from the target audience that you've got are going to be creators anyway. So people like me, Alex, yourself, people who are going to print them and paint them are going to want to be creating customs from it anyway, rather than going, oh, I printed off 10 of these, they're £100 each, and they come as they are, good luck. Anyone who's doing that, I think it'll be a bit rubbish. But I think everyone who you kind of target wise to have it, they're going to be, look at this, or here's my take on it, or this is what I've done with it. That'll be quite cool to see.
Yeah, and like Owen's such a special one just because of obviously the way in which he died, and like there's been so many people have done different versions of his head because he is definitely not getting an elite. Like there is that Jazzwares one, but
different eras completely.
Yeah, I don't like his hair is different. I don't think what I've seen of it does injustice in the head anyway. So I think that kind of mission still goes on. That doesn't change anything. And like if anyone's got any kind of skill in Blender, ZBrush, whatever, then take this file, like tweak it. If you think his ears are too small, whatever, then like have a fiddle with it, and then as a community just make the best possible Owen head there is, and then you can you've got it.
Anyone who does that, as long as they share the same love that you did with the creation of it, as long as it's like, well, I've done a long hair version, and everyone who's got that, and Adam included, gets it back. As long as it's not like, well, I've done a long hair version and you pay me £10 for that. So, well, hang on a sec.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's like the idea of like this Owen being open source. I quite like it. Owen. And I mean, there's a part of me that with certain wrestlers feels guilt on making too much money out of anyway. Like, I mean, it's not. I still think that it's fine, like, to be paid for the craft of things, because doing a custom or whatever is
painstaking.
You're just paying someone for their time of doing it. It's not about what it is
Not
or
a bit
anything like that. No, exactly. Like I wouldn't charge more for a certain wrestler because you can't get them, like, or anything like that. So
that effort and craftsmanship going into what it is you're creating and how much of your time that's going to take, rather than, oh, well, Owen costs this much and this costs this much. It's like, no, well, Owen
exactly.
Long
I've
time
got this is like a packaging thing that I'm working on at the minute.
Really good.
So like, you know, because I've got this white ink that I print with.
Awesome, man.
And then you sort of like print again with pink, so you go pink over the thing, but that allows you to print on like black card. And, you know, like I think it's just, you know, nice to, if you do it like this and then you just got that on your shelf, it's kind of cool. And I just like, because it's just an extension of like my brand and stuff, being able to like, you know, use the same typefaces across packaging and stuff. Is just, that's just what I love doing.
I mean, we'll talk about it in your podcast and then maybe another future episode, but that whole stuff we did together for the FTR stuff, like they were just like, what the hell's this? Like, I was like, well, they're there for you and take a look. And I think having that, well, that was very last minute between me and you, but having that little display box and the artwork on there and stuff, it just kind of added to that presentation. If I'd just gone, as these are for you, they'd have been like, oh, okay, cool. But having that like physical element of take this and open it and take a look at it.
Exactly. It's just that
really
extra bit of prestige and like, you know, care and presentation into the stuff. And like, how, yeah, you know, having seen that video, that was genuine. Like that was a really genuine reaction. It was, which is really nice to see. I've always had a thing with meeting anybody that I've seen in like a public eye, just worried about the interaction going wrong. Because then if it goes wrong, and then, you know, if it's a musician or whatever, like you know, I've always loved Oasis, but I'd hate to meet Liam Gallagher, because regardless of how that went, every time I listened to them,
you'll think of
I would just think of that moment, and it would just ruin it, even if it was good. So I don't know. That's why I've never been to a signing or anything. But
kind of when I asked about the whole Wardlow thing, like, because how would you feel if you know, if you showed it to him and he was like, and you were like, can I send it to you? And he was like, yes, please. Like, how would that make you feel about like giving that back to him? What's your stance on that kind of?
That's fine. And I mean, I don't. If he was a dick about it, for whatever reason, it wouldn't really bother me, because I don't really care that much about Wardlow.
Yeah.
I doubt he's listening, but you know, I could get by that. I think it's just like I don't know, like there's a Jake the Snake signing that's like happening near me in next week, this weekend actually, and it's like I mentioned it to my wife because it's Father's Day, and then she goes, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "I don't think I do actually, because I feel like you just."
I've heard he's really good. I've heard he's.
Oh really?
I've heard he's been really good, and he's pretty decent.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I always think you should kind of, with the older generation as well, because obviously I met the Hardys as well, and I met, you know, Regal and Moxley and Bryan. I think, and I was going to meet Sting, but that's another story. But I think you should always try and take advantage of meeting the older generation, because you just don't know, you know, what's going to happen to them. So if you've got an opportunity to be half an hour away from him and just go and say hello, and if he goes, you go, well, yeah, he still gave me.
Go. All right, Jake, I've got a tattoo of you on the back of my leg. I'm gonna have to go.
And he might just go, what? Or he might go, that's amazing, thank you so much. And you'll be like, either way interaction you get, you'll be like, well, that was cool.
Yeah.
But I would definitely go and do it if it was that close. Why not?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll rethink that.
Get him to sign where your tattoo is. You can have a signature on you as a tattoo. That could be cool.
Yeah. I think it's not like it's the sort of cartoon in this tattoo artist style. I think it's weirder if it's like, you know,
if it's like photorealistic and you can see the fang, you'd be like, that's it, mate.
If it's if it's like, you know, really like a portrait of somebody, I'd find that a bit more weird. But you know,
yeah, I'm weirded out by getting a whole python like on your shoulder. You'd be like, wait a sec. Right,
Yeah.
mate. It's been awesome. For everyone again locked in, this is Adam from 3XR Studio. Check him out on Instagram, give him a follow and a like. And yeah, hopefully we can get you back on another episode. Maybe we can talk about some of your customs and stuff with Johnny as well. And I look forward to doing my episode with you on your forthcoming podcast as well, where we'll talk about cracking it out. And we'll go from there. So we'll catch up soon, man. It's been awesome. And,
Sweet.
easy.
Cheers, man.
Guys. Catch
Thank you very much.